All right. Welcome to another episode.
Hello.
Go to Realtors and Realtors Podcast.
All right.
So today we're going to go through another kind of Q&A. We've gotten quite a bit of emails of questions from our subscribers and viewers.
We actually have.
So today's topic is going to be, improvements on your homes. Like
Mhm.
over improvements, if you're going to take us down on what would optimize when we're listing a house as a client to what's beneficial for them to renovate as opposed to leave without over improving, under improving,
So when does a reno go too far?
Yeah, I mean, we both know that obviously when you do a renovation, you're not going to get back all of your money,
Mhm.
but there are some things that our viewers want to know. What would be the most amount of money that they could get? What's going to be optimal for them?
Okay. So how I would start it is probably, is it to live in or is it for an investment, like a rental?
Well, see,
So those are two different things.
it's a little tricky because, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're improving something, obviously you're thinking resale, you're thinking
Mhm.
about what's going to be when you go to sell, but you also want to be able to enjoy it. So sometimes, like we've seen in some of our listings, our clients have, let's say, put in $100,000 on an extensive kitchen renovation, and they're expecting to get back 200. So if you could kind of give the breakdown on what kind of the costs are and how it kind of not balances out, how it's kind of a give and take.
Okay, so if you want to live there,
Yeah.
right? When you reno a place to live in, you're
Mhm.
going to want to do it in such a way that you're going to enjoy living in it. So it's going to be doesn't necessarily have to be top of the line reno, but it's going to be probably something more than you're doing if it was just a rental property.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
for a rental property, you don't want to put the most expensive floors, kitchen cabinets, countertops, just vanities in the washroom, sinks, all that stuff, because you know that no matter who you get in there, they're not going to treat it the same as you're going to treat it. So you don't want to kind of waste money. But if you're living there
Mhm.
and you want to do a top of the line reno, I would probably start with the three major ones that always bring back value.
Number one,
Number one is floors.
floors. Okay.
Doing good floors throughout, either hardwood, engineered hardwood. It's always a net positive for your house.
What about laminate?
Laminate, see, the problem with laminate is it's on the cheaper side, it's on the thinner side.
It's cost effective.
It's cost effective, but it's not durable.
Well, we've seen like the different kind of the 8 mil, 10 mil,
Yeah.
12 mil. So would you recommend if, let's say, as a landlord, even though resale's not going to be the highest amount if you put in hardwood, would you recommend maybe putting like the top of the line laminate as opposed to a hardwood or engineered?
You see, that's tricky because, okay, so if you have a short-term rental,
Okay. So like an Airbnb or like
an Airbnb,
Okay.
I would do hardwood
Okay.
on an Airbnb.
Because you want to draw people in.
You need to draw people in. It's got to
Mhm.
be as close to top of the line, aesthetically pleasing,
Okay.
durable, in good shape,
Of course.
right? Lasts a long time. You don't want to be in there every couple of years or redoing an Airbnb.
Okay.
But if it was a year-to-year lease
Mhm.
or somebody was there for a few years and then coming out, I personally would do probably a cheaper laminate
Okay.
because no matter how you slice it, there's going to be marks, scratches,
Mhm.
dents, lipping, watermarks on the floor. So if you do a cheaper laminate, and we
Mhm.
both have done laminate,
Mhm.
it's a little quicker to do.
Of course.
We could probably pull out a full room of laminate in a few hours.
So now playing devil's advocate,
Yes.
back to you saying scratches, marks, and all that, would it not then be beneficial to put hardwood? Because then hardwood, at least, in 5-10
It
years,
is durable.
it's durable.
Yes.
You could sand it down depending on what the thickness is, maybe restain it.
It's just not as cheap as laminate. Even sanding down hardwood, if you were to just do a thin,
Mhm.
like maybe quarter-inch laminate,
Mhm.
somebody lives there for maybe 2 years. When they leave, if it's in bad shape, you don't even feel bad pulling it out and redoing a nice laminate for the next renter that comes in if they destroy it. And if they don't and it lasts a little bit, you got away with something on the cheaper end that you don't have to redo again. Even if you did, it would be cheap, but you could do it again.
Okay.
You could change it. You could update it with the times and the
Mhm.
styles, right? So that's number one. I would
Okay.
say flooring is number one.
Okay.
If you could redo the flooring in a house, you're always going to get back not what you put in,
Of
but
course.
higher than if you kept an old parquet or an old laminate or an old carpet.
And then, like you mentioned, if it depending what you're doing, hardwood if you're living there, maybe laminate on the cheaper side, trying to save costs, trying to kind of go with the most cost effective. Makes sense. Okay.
You can repair it. I mean, it's a lot easier to repair a piece of laminate that's either like butting up or lipping or whatever than a piece of hardwood too.
Okay. That's fair.
So that's flooring.
Yeah.
In a house that you're living in versus a rental is what I would say.
And
Number 2 is a kitchen.
So now you're going room. So flooring was kind of general.
The whole house. I would say the whole house.
Okay. So the whole house do flooring.
Yes.
Kind of make it depending what you're doing. And now the next one that you're moving on to.
The next one is kitchens.
Kitchen.
I mean, we see it all the time. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned home buyer. Actually, even if you're looking for an investment property, first place you look, kitchen.
Kitchen and bathrooms is the first. You spend the most time in there.
You gave away my third one.
Oh no, we're giving you the next giveaway.
So kitchen. Let's say kitchen. So you want to renovate the kitchen.
Yes.
I mean, everybody knows an older style kitchen with old appliances,
dark cabinets, black appliances or white appliances,
the old white
plain,
ones.
Yeah, the plain Jane. It's out. Nobody wants to see that.
The old white appliances turn. We see people paint appliances.
Smoke. Yeah, we have seen that. Plaster, paint. So now, I guess again, being devil's advocate on a kitchen renovation. Yes. If you have, let's say, tenants moving in, obviously you always want to give them something good. So it would probably be beneficial. Let's say you're not changing the layout of the kitchen, but it's like an old mahogany or a dark color. It might be beneficial for them to maybe paint the cabinets and then just change a countertop, as opposed to a homeowner who's maybe now changing the layout from maybe like an L shape to an intricate design of it being open.
Custom.
So new cabinetry, always do nice countertops, because we've seen people kind of not go full through with the execution, where you've done this great cabinetry, self-closing great handles, and then they kind of cheap out with, maybe like a particle board countertop. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong,
but it's when
it's not durable.
When it's the durability, and when you could tell, because as long as you're doing everything that kind of meets the eye and it's nice, it's done properly, that's totally different
100%.
From kind of slapping some stuff together, hoping for the best.
So like you said, if it was a rental,
yes,
and the cabinets were like a strong wood and they're still in good shape, sand them and paint them. That's it for the cabinets.
Okay.
And then like you said, in a rental, it is cheaper to get particle board countertops, but we all know that like you leave either something hot, something wet,
goes through.
It just destroys. It warps.
Leave a little bit of water, whatever.
So I would just pick for a rental. You don't have to do like the most expensive quartz countertop or something, but there's something hard and durable.
That's fair.
Marble. Okay. I think marble is probably the cheapest and the most durable of countertops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as nice as quartz.
It's the old school, the marble that we always see in like the renoed houses, I'd say from the mid 2000s up until maybe like 2018.
Yeah.
Now it's like the Caesar stone, the quartz, all the natural.
Nice, expensive, very durable.
Of course.
But do you want to put that, especially a white countertop, in a house that's being rented out? It just, at the end of the day, they just won't take care of it like you would if you lived there.
Yeah, and you don't want like a porous that's going to kind of suck in everything that they're doing. The heat. Yeah, that's
red wine on a white countertop, you just throw it out.
Okay. So you're saying flooring, we've gone through based on whether you're living there, kitchen, kind of the same thing. So there's kind of like option 1 and option 2.
Yes.
And
living versus renting.
And that's not to say that if you're living there, you could do the more expensive one. We've seen fully tenanted homes that landlords have done
for the 11s.
You think that they're going to live there, because I think our philosophy with something like that is when you give someone something good, they take care of it.
That's true.
When you give someone something that's crap, I mean, what's the incentive? You've already given to them crap. It kind of shows that you don't. So I mean, everything comes with a cost. Everything comes with figuring out what works for you.
So appliances too. In a rental,
absolutely,
you might not have to go top of the line gas stove, huge massive fridge with the water fountain, like the water
filtration and the ice. Yeah.
And you don't have to do like a heavy duty dishwasher, like industrial dishwasher,
but something
decent, working, looks good, fits, everything's functional for a rental.
Yeah.
If you're doing the rental to live in, okay, you could splurge a little. You could buy the big gas stove with the 6 burners and like the temperature gauge, all that stuff. Fair. You can, but you might not always get the money you put in out when it's time to sell.
That's fair.
You can over reno. You could do like very expensive cabinets, countertops, and appliances, But at the end of the day, if it's in a house that's only worth a certain number, a good kitchen with appliances doesn't take you past whatever that threshold is for that property.
Well, and it's like the depreciation value of it also. I mean, like we said, so if you're spending, let's say, $100,000 to reno that house, not necessarily you're getting that 100,000.
No.
And then if you did that on year 1 and now you're selling year 6, well,
It's a 6-year
it's
depreciation.
a 6-year depreciation on top of maybe you've over improved it. Maybe you've put those crazy top of the line appliances because you wanted them.
Yeah.
But a buyer isn't going to front that money where you over improved it.
It is what
that's
it
on
is.
you. Absolutely.
So how many buyers have we seen get lucky by kind of an older house that needs a little work, but those owners put in top of the line appliances?
Yes.
And it's like, okay, they kind of seem out of place in a house that needs work, but these guys just lucked out, got brand new appliances. That's like 20 grand worth of appliances.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just comes with the house, right? Because
that's fair.
In today's day and age, I don't know how many of you guys listening have bought houses recently, but I would say recently, as in like the last 15 years, everybody just sells their house with the appliances already in.
Yeah. Yes.
Back in the day, I know we've heard stories of like, oh, like you take all your appliances with you and you come into an empty shell. Now,
no,
whatever's there is there. And we actually put clauses in for that too.
And we've also seen where we've gone into a listing appointment, like the pre-listing before it's on the market.
Yeah.
And they've had nice appliances that they don't want to kind of give up, and they've done the old switcheroo where they go to a scratch and dent place. And I mean, nothing's wrong with that, but of course it's obviously going to hinder you getting more money. And if that's the name of the game that you're looking for, then I mean, it's just you have to weigh out the pros and cons, what works for you and what you want more.
But we always say, is it worth saving 10 grand on switching appliances but losing 50 grand on the purchase price?
Yes.
Because of just the way the total aesthetic looks when the house is good appliances in the kitchen just the way it is, or you try to mix and match. Okay, we got a white stove with a black fridge.
You're already throwing it all off.
Yeah, if you're just going scratch and dent, you will kind of lose some value doing that. People they're not as naive as you think.
No.
And they know when you're kind of mix and matching stuff. So just beware with stuff like that. It's always good to just be aware of it.
I mean, a good rule for any improvements on the house, you're probably going to get back maybe 75% of what it was.
Yeah.
So if you spent $100 on, let's say, microwave, that's terrible.
$75.
Yeah. But give or take. And I mean, of course, you have to live there. You have to enjoy where you're living, what you're doing. But our big things are flooring, kitchens, bathrooms.
Number 3, bathrooms.
Yes.
I would say if you go in, like the second place after kitchen is always bathrooms.
Absolutely.
That people check, right? You have the one on the main floor, and you hopefully, depending on what you're looking for, you have an ensuite and then like a hallway bathroom in a basement bathroom. Freshen up the toilets, obviously.
Yeah.
Freshen up the vanities.
You don't need in-floor heating and like a steam bathroom, but of course, people want to see new toilets, new tubs, maybe not outdated tile.
It's funny you bring up tubs. Another big thing people like in bathrooms is there's got to be at least one tub
in the entire house because of bath time with the little kids.
Bath time and the dogs. So most people either have kids or dogs.
Or both.
Right, we're going on just like the probability of
absolutely.
You either got a kid's dog or both, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of people who renovate their house or their bathrooms, they say, "Oh, I don't need a tub. I'm going to do a big, nice stand-in shower." Even if you have like the sideways shower head, up here in the left and right, it might look amazing. It might be an amazing shower.
That's going to be a hindrance.
But if you don't have, it's a hindrance without the tub. So you need to keep at least one tub in your house.
Absolutely.
And preferably have a tub in the basement too. If you're going to reno your basement, fully finish it, put a kitchenette and a shower in the bathroom, just do a 3-piece bathroom in the basement.
And of course, follow all the bylaws. Make sure that you're making it somewhat legal, even if you don't want to rent it out, because on resale, 90% of the listings don't warrant the retro status of the basement, even if they're not renting it. And I mean, that is a hindrance. It's like putting separate entrance and things like that. So I think, the big thing, like you had mentioned on the bath, especially if you have one bathroom, make sure there's a tub there, because whether it's an elderly person, or like you said, kids or animals. And then I guess the big thing is that not a lot of people kind of talk about or look at that don't aesthetically sometimes catch your eye, but is probably the mechanical. the AC, furnace, water tank,
in a house, yeah.
and the roof. I mean, those, if you have a crappy roof, there's no point in doing $100,000 bathroom reno when you have a hole in your roof and it's leaking down.
Yeah. You could overdo a roof too.
Yeah,
Metal roofs.
Yeah,
very
metal
expensive.
roof. I mean, you don't need to do these 80-year shingles that, like, all those are gimmicks. I mean, do your research, see what works for you. I think you could get a 25-year shingle, and if you talk to a roofer, they'll say they're not even 25 years. So with the kitchen, before you're kind of taking care of the inside, make sure everything else is good with you as well, where your roof is in decent repair and not leaking. You have a water tank that's not leaking all over your basement because it's blown. So I mean,
well, you need an AC if your house has AC.
Some people prefer the nice, hot, sweaty, muggy feel.
But if you have an AC already in there and you're promoting the house with an AC and it doesn't work or it's old, it could be a hindrance too, right?
Absolutely.
But also, if you have like a 1,200 square foot bungalow, you don't need to get a 1-ton AC unit.
Yeah,
you could get a smaller one, right? Just
don't get upsold on some of these AC guys that give you an AC 2-3 times bigger than what you need. Same with a furnace. Same with water tanks. People get caught up tankless versus non-tankless. It's all personal preference.
Yeah, there's not much. Just don't over reno. If you could take away one thing from this podcast,
absolutely.
There you go.
Okay. So I mean, we touched on the 3 big things: floor, kitchen, bathroom.
Yep.
And then I guess the 4th thing would be the mechanical, roof, AC, water tank, furnace. And then I mean, if you get crazy, then there's the other things like the humidifier on the furnace. But those
fireplaces, you could put fireplaces throughout the house.
Don't think that just because you've paid for something that you're going to automatically get that money back or more. That's the gist of it.
French doors and
it's
those
subjective.
expensive blinds.
Some people like it, some people don't. It's like a pool. We get asked all the time. I would say maybe it's a 50-50. Even with COVID and the staycations, a lot of people don't want a pool. We've had clients that said, yeah, if I bought this house with a pool, we would fill it in. And we just kind of look at them hey, God bless. Whatever you want to do, it's your money, yours to do whatever. But sometimes people put in a pool and they're like, oh, wow, my house is going to be worth. No. You might spend $100,000 and you might lose that $100,000. So
depends on the market.
Absolutely, it depends what people want. The more of a market niche you put your house in, the smaller pool you're bringing of buyers. So that's something to keep in mind. And I mean,
it's not cheap to maintain a pool.
No, that's the other cost. You got the electrical, Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Anything that breaks, you're not fixing. You're calling somebody to fix it. Anytime you call anybody,
you're super handy and you have your way. And maybe you're an engineer and you know how things work.
If you're an engineer and you're buying a house with a pool,
God bless you.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you're not, you're a regular Joe Schmo like us. You got to call somebody.
Well, right? We would watch a couple YouTube videos and figure it out. No.
Yeah, well, we'd get started, but then remember, if you break something trying to fix it, whoever you call to fix it's going to charge you double.
Well, what's the old saying? Only rich people can afford to be cheap.
Wow. Oh, don't buy a pool then.
Yeah, and we'll leave you on that one, guys.
All right, guys.
Till the next one, we're signing off.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Yeah.
Send us some more questions.